Hey YouTube, it is thankfully the last week of the season for GBL and the larger Pokemon Go season. So last week they actually listened to us and gave us Great League, Ultra League, and Match League to end on. So if you want some top Great League teams, I posted that this morning. If you want some top Ultra League teams, here they are coming up here. Quickly looking at the top not leaderboard, top 20 ranked Pokemon in Ultra League. It's funny because Great League, I mentioned this morning, it's like, oh yeah, we just had Clockstar Community Day and it became a top. We just got Whiscash Shadow and it's now a top meta. Not meta, but like top ranked Pokemon. And with Ultra League, it's just like, nah, it's just more of the same, right? Because Ultra League is just such an investment in legendary or XL Pokemon. So that's what you're seeing mostly on this list, combined with a few like community Pokemon, uh, Counter Poliwrath, Hydro Cannon, Swampert, stuff like that, right? So that is the majority of what you see on this list. So let's go into some teams that you can use. So this team is one that I showcased. This was a legend run from a subscriber. So in the Ultra Leagues, Ace Sandslash, Charizard, Jellicent, pretty balanced team, right? Your Sandslash should deal with most flyers and steals and does well against dragons, stuff like that. Charizard is pretty good against I feel like everything, even in bad matchups against water, it's still like decent. It still hits so hard with Blast Burn, but it is generally a harder hitting Pokemon. And Jellicent, I think on this team acts as your bulk, and it acts as your main Tapu Fini answer. Uh, so Jellicent, generally a pretty good save swap. You have Ace Slash biggest weakness is fighting, so you have two covers in the back for that. Um, but overall, pretty strong team filled with a lot of meta Pokemon that you see in the Ultra League. This is a team I went in the Ultra League. I went 8-2 with, and it's Shadow Dragonite, Cresselia, Swampert. So it's a very much a balanced team, typical me balanced team. You have Dragonite, which will be great against most things, but have problems with, I guess, fairies and ice is your main two weaknesses. And then Cresselia is generally your safe swap, which can deal with most things. And then Cresselia being weak to steel, and Dragonite only having superpower for steel, Swampert in the back to deal with steel. Swampert's only real weakness is grass and Giratina, which Dragonite should be able to handle both of those. I mean, you're not weak to Giratina, but you can only throw Earthquake, so it's a pretty bad matchup there. So basically just balanced team. Hard hitters with Dragonite and Swampert, so save shield for those. Cress is sort of your sponge where you absorb damage, and as your safe swap, they're in Ultra League. This is one I had fun with. It's Lurantis, Jellicent, Walrein. So same sort of concept as some of the other teams you saw, right? You saw Jellicent can act as a good safe swap. You have Walrein. The other person used a Sandslash, but like an ice to cover your like flyers, which you need coverage for your flyers on, and on Giratina if you're running Lurantis. Lurantis is a really, really, really fun Pokemon to use. I always enjoy using it. It charges very, very fast with Fury Cutter, and the Superpower Leaf Blade is a really strong combo, right? Outside of Giratina, right? Which is a ghost. I mean, the dragon is what is, yeah, ghost dragon, because the ghost is resisting the superpower and the dragon is resisting the leaf blade. So that's where it gets really tricky there. But for the most part, unless you're getting to like an electric bug, like Galvantula or something like that, you usually have something to throw at most things. I guess Charizard is the other one where you don't really have anything. Fire is your main one, but that is why you have Jellicent and Walrein in the back to deal with all of those. So you don't need to, like, you are double weak to grass in the back, but you also have sort of like between the Hex and the Shadow Ball and the Powder Snow Icicle Spears, you can combo those Pokemon. So you don't need to switch out of anything, but you have answers in the back if Lurantis gets walled by one of those Pokemon that I mentioned. Very similar concept to the Dragonite Swampert team. I like using these idea of teams where you have two hard-hitting Pokemon, Swampert, Shadow Swampert, and Shadow Charizard in this case, where you know that they're going to be able to boom opponents if they have like shield advantage or energy advantage. And then Giratina is your bulky, like Cress it was the other time. I think Giratina probably is a little better than Cress because Cress can just get walled by steals, where Giratina, there's usually something that you can always throw. So Giratina as the safe swap, middle to absorb damage, spam a lot, hopefully grab shield with Giratina, or flip switch if you need to, because Swampert and Charizard basically cover each other's weakness for the most part. Um, team number 5 is a Steelix Virizion Crest team. Again, one of those balanced teams where Steelix is going to have the main problem with sort of fair. So the thing with this team is Steelix can have a problem with two things, like fairies, um, and like other steals to a certain extent. Anything where Dragon Tail and Breaking Swipe is resisted, where you have to rely on Earthquake. So steals, which you can still hit Earthquake, and fairies, which you can still hit Earthquake, but um, they can like charge up. The main fairies in this meta are Tapu Fini, which is a water, like that's like 80% of the teams, and then a Ninetales, which sometimes runs Charm, sometimes runs Powder Snow. Both your double weak to Virizion on, but it takes neutral to both double kick, Sacred Sword, and Leaf Blade, so you can combo there and then Crest just again as a bulky save swap to absorb damage, or come in the mid game here. I feel like I always laugh because Dragon Jellicent Swampert, like 4 seasons ago, I hit Legend with Pidgeot, Jellicent Swampert. Basically, at the time, save swap Jellicent, try and pull out Trevenant. Pidgeot punishes, Swampert roams free. I modified it a bit because I think Dragonite is better than Pidgeot right now in this meta because there's a lot more steals. So I like Dragonite more, but it's the same sort of concept. You can save swap Jellicent, try and draw out a grass. Dragonite will beat that, and then Swampert roams free in the back. And the last team here, Tapu Fini double Mewtwo. I talked about how Tapu is one of the best fairies in this meta. It's just overall one of the best Pokemon in this meta. Very strong with Water Gun, Surf, Moonblast. Pretty well covers the majority of the meta here. Double is a safe swap. I built up Sundo Double. So it's a decent safe swap because just double kick, body slam, payback is very, very spammy. Decent amount of Ghost in here, which as the normal typing, you double resist Ghost, and you have payback tip, super effective. So those are usually decent matchups where you can take those, and then Mewtwo in the back as a kind of a bulky, just fun Pokemon. Honestly, you don't need to use Mewtwo. I just enjoy using it. We got these armored Mewtwo's once, like years ago, and I use it like 2 times per season, essentially in Ultra League, and this was one of them. It works really well against the Cobalion Virizion backline, right? Because you can super effective confusions on Virizion and neutral confusions on Cobalion. You resist the double kick, and they have to throw Stone Edge or Leaf Blade, and by that time you're gonna be able to take them out with Confusion and Side Strike. So it's a pretty strong, and then Dynamic Punch for the steals because Confusion and Side Strike are resisted on steals. So those are the teams. Last week, I will most likely, Master League is also on, but I'm going to showcase one Master League team because I built up my Honda Rayquaza and used it like weeks ago, so I'm going to showcase that battles. But for the most part, you're going to just be seeing Great League and Ultra League battles on the channel for the next week, and then we will go into the new season information when we get it. So that is it. Thanks for watching. Good luck on your final push if you're pushing to Legend, and I will see you guys in the next one.